Hello there, John, osteopath. Here again to show you some stretches you can do for your neck with the use of a towel. Now the reason I'm using a towel is because, well, why not? But if you recall, a few months back I did some stretches. We used an exercise band, and the band we used to put compression through the muscle of the neck, particularly the trapezius. And as we fixed on that allowed us to get a greater pull without damaging the structures within the neck. Now, this is a very similar exercise I'm going to give you today. The difference is that we're going to use a towel as a bit of padding instead. So it depends on what's easier for you, what you've got to hand. Not everyone has got an exercise band to hand, but most people have got towels. If you don't have a towel, then I really pity you. You are very poor and you need to get a job. But anyway, that aside, let's get a towel, roll it up so it's about this length. And you want to wrap it around your neck, like this. Use a nice bit of support so it fits the curvature of the neck like so. Now, very simply, by placing this around here, you're going to reduce the range of motion you can go. And you can tighten it a little bit, not too tight, because you don't want to cut off the blood supply to your brain, and you want to cut off the air as well. So just simply a little bit of pressure through here. If it's not big enough, you can wrap the towel up and make it even thicker or tighter depending on what suits you. But this is about right for me, so as you can see, that's about the thickness we've got there. Okay, so what you're going to do, as always, nice upright posture, squeeze your tummy in, squeeze your buttocks at the same time, straight spine. Starting, of course, with the trapezius, we chop our head forward first of all, and then roll to the side, so we're looking down towards one of your feet. You should get a bit of a stretch in the back of the neck, okay? But what's happening here is this part of the towel is stopping your head going too far forward. And you can tuck your chin in a little bit, and you get a nice stretch in the back of the neck. But it's a gentle stretch, so very good for acute strains or subacute strains. Hold the position. If you want to, you can put your hand on the back of your head and pull down a little bit, like so. Really flattering underneath the chin here, as you can see. Hold that for 30 seconds or so. I like to use breaths. So take a slow, deep breath in, take a slow, deep breath out, repeat 2 more times, and then very carefully bring your head back to the neutral position. Do the same thing on the other side. So again, you're going to put a bit of pressure through here, look over to your left foot, look down a little bit, get a stretch in the back of the neck here. Take your hand above, same hand if it's the opposite, so opposite hand to opposite side of your neck. Pull down a little bit. Remember, you're not pulling straight to the floor. You're putting a little bit of traction to tilt the head down a tiny bit, but you're really pulling upwards to the ceiling as you do this. A nice stretch there. Take 3 slow deep breaths in and out, like so. As you do that, the breaths will help you to relax, and you'll find the muscle will start to relax a bit more too. If you pull this really hard, what's going to happen is it's going to actually tense it up. It's not going to work. Like with all stretches, they should be done gently, but the neck muscles are particularly vulnerable, so you must be careful. So slow, gentle stretches for these. Next, we're going to look at the scalene muscles. That's the muscles on the side. If you follow my video, we've done this before by simply taking the hand above the head, reaching around the ear and pulling slightly to the side. Again, with this here, this is stopping you going too far over. It's great. And then tuck the chin into the chest a little bit and pull again in that direction towards the ceiling using your hand to drag it this way, not pulling down. But if you do pull it down, thankfully this here, this towel stops it going too far. And same thing, 3 slow deep breaths in, about 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, relax as you go, keep adjusting as you go. Make sure you tuck this in a bit more to get a bit more of a stretch on the side. Make sure your head is straight on and not twisted like so. And then when you're ready, when you're finished, bring your head up with assistance from your hand, because of course those muscles on the opposite side are stretched. There isn't a lot of blood in them, not oxygenated anyway, and they're going to struggle to bring your head up. And therefore sometimes you can get a strain after doing the stretch. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Remember, arm above your head, reach around your ear, make sure this is fairly tight. Your head drops to the side, tuck the chin into the chest a little bit. Pull there. Again, not flattering. If you're like me, you haven't got much of a chin, it doesn't look good. If it helps, you can take this arm, drop down the weight of the arm, helps to stretch a bit more on this side. You can even hold a weight in your hand if you want. Although I won't always recommend a relatively light one, preferably. Again, as you do this, 3 slow deep breaths in and out, tucking the chin in a bit tighter, lengthening the back of the neck there. And when you're done, as before, assist your head by pushing up slowly to the start position. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to the scaling muscles. The scalings, of course, are the muscles that start basically behind the ear here. At this point here, called the mastoid process. They come down the neck to the front here. Okay, and you can find it by digging in here, like so. And it goes to the front, called the sternum, hence the name sternocleidomastoid. Right, so with this one, is the opposite of the trapezius. You're going to be looking upwards and to the opposite side of the room. Make sure this is nice and tight here. So head goes up, and then what you want to do is look say, to one corner, in that direction there. And you'll notice that on this side here now, in here there's a stretch going on. But this, thankfully, this will prevent your neck going back too far. Now, I've done this in the past without the towel, gone backwards, and I've found a lot of compression in the back of my neck. So this is because I've got quite a deep curvature of my neck, we call lordosis. And then if you're, as you get older, what happens is the joints get closer together and you're more likely to compress and irritate these joints. So this works really well for older people who've got quite deep cervical lordosis. So back to there again, we do the other side, same thing, head backwards, and then rotate to the other side like so, and then you're noticing the neck is being stretched through here. If you want to, you can tuck your chin to your chest a little bit, as we did before. That changes the emphasis a little bit, but it doesn't matter too much with this one. And with this one, you can even, if you want to take your hand, just tuck it back a bit here. I don't really find that works for me. What I tend to do instead is I take my hand and I put it on my collarbone on the opposite side here. So as I pull on the collarbone, because you've got the sternocleidomastoid attaching onto the sternum here and partly onto the clavicle, as you pull down, you get a better stretch. And most importantly, you've still got the padding behind you of the towel, protecting the lordosis of the neck. You don't have to pull directly on the collar, you can pull further down onto the chest, onto the fascia. There's a muscle here called platysma that goes underneath the neck here, and so on the front of the neck here, all under the chin and down to the top of the chest. So a very thin muscle. It does that, what I call the Wallace and Gromit kind of exercise, but you don't want to be working it too much because it can really be quite uncomfortable if you get a spasm. But that sits just superficial to the sternocleidomastoid, so you're working that one as well as you do it. So just to recap that one again, head goes back to the opposite side, hand goes to here, pull the hand down. If you want to, you can play around with the position of the chin. More extension, bit of flexion, bit of rotation, a bit more if you want to. And hold that there. Same thing, 3 slow deep breaths in and out. And then, very carefully when you're done, assist by bringing it back to the middle again. This is a bit more robust, I find. You don't always have to bring the head back up again, because the sternocleidomastoids, a lot of people are very, very strong. Well, it's just self-explanatory really. It's not like the scalings, they're usually a little bit weaker. There's 3 of those either side, they're quite thin, they're probably about finger width in some cases. They're not the biggest of muscles. Mind you, these aren't either, but they seem to have a bit more strength because they have 2 heads, so they do 2 different jobs, not just flexion, but they also have a working rotation as well. But anyway, sorry, enough about the anatomy lesson. I hope this exercise really works for you. Try it when you're at home with a towel like so. Remember to roll it up fairly tightly. If it doesn't work for you, make sure you can always double it up, make it a bit thicker, and then do it again. You tend to find you find the right one for you eventually. And as I said before, it works really well for people whose necks are very curved. If you have an acute neck strain and you want to very gently stretch it out, okay, please be careful with this. It may not work straight away. It's one of those ones you want to try it out, see how you feel. If you think it still hurts, then maybe rest for a bit before you go back to trying this. But certainly on your road to recovery, this is a great assistance tool to get you back to full flexibility. Hope you like the video. Obviously don't forget to subscribe, is what we always say, and like the video too. Give me a thumbs up, and hopefully see you in the next one. Take care, goodbye.